All right, you guys. So I just finished watching Stranger Things season 5, part 1. I hate how long that is, but that is one thing that a lot of streaming platforms are starting to do now to try to milk us for more money on the subscription service is by breaking up the seasons. Season 4 of Stranger Things made sense why it got broken up was due to the fact that they needed more time on the latter half of the episodes to work on the CGI. By all means, do it. But this, like, motherfucker, you had 3 goddamn years. It's been 3 fucking years between season 4 and season 5. I'm expecting fucking cinematic gold. And this really, in my opinion, was a massive letdown. It's not really that great. There's a lot of fluff to it, a lot of backstory. Now, some of the backstory, I'm like, okay, I can get behind it because it fills in the blank for some things. Because it's been 18 months in the TV show's time frame between the ending of season 4 and the beginning of season 5. So, of course, there's going to be, a little bit of backstory with some of the characters where you're like, damn, I wonder what happened to them, right? Max, I'm looking at you. But in my opinion, if they really wanted to do this, if they're going to break it up into different pieces, just do what they did with the old school television. Instead, what Netflix made us all used to, and that is break it up week by week by week, right? Episodic, and do it that way. Instead of, here's 4 episodes on November 26th, you'll get 3 episodes on Christmas Day, December 25th, and then you'll get the final episode on New Year's Eve, December 31st. In all seriousness, this is what Attack on Titan did, and it turned me off from Attack on Titan. Even though everybody tells me Attack on Titan is a phenomenal show. I didn't even watch the last season. Why? Because the fucking last season kept getting chopped up, and they'd be like, here's 2 episodes here, here's an episode there. Oh, hey, by the way, there's an episode there. I hate that shit. I'm a busy man. Like, I can't be tracking all this. But anyways, we're getting ready to move into spoiler alerts, if you guys didn't know. But anyways, episode 1 opens up 18 months after the events of season 4. Hopper's training 11. There's, the boys are getting older. Dustin's still repping the Hellfire Club t-shirt, which causes a bunch of issues with the basketball team. And this is where I'm talking about the fluff. Like, if they don't address more with that basketball team and Dustin getting his ass beat, it was fluff. It's a total waste of fucking time. On top of that, there's what Hopper's getting ready to go out on and Eleven's training for is these things called the crawls. In my opinion, they don't really explain the crawls too well. They just like, hey, Hopper jumps aboard a military convoy, goes in, and then they track him using like a radio signal and a radio beacon to really determine where he's at and if he can get back safely. But they don't explain how the fuck is he going to get back safely. So I had some questions about that. It's just, there's so many questions, and it really wasn't that good. The other thing is that Robin, Steve, Nancy, and Jonathan, they're all working at the local radio station, which is how they disseminate all the fucking special information, because they turn around and they basically break down a fact sheet about a band or a singer or whatever, and they like, she's like, oh, and she won 10 Grammys. 10. Like, that's how they determine it. Okay, that's cool. But there's a lot of excess dialogue that's really not needed. There's a lot of, like, just fluff. And, like, you could have cut down the fluff from episode 1 and the fluff from episode 2, because episode 2 kind of got interesting there a little bit because there was a Demogorgon attack. But you could have cut down the fluff and made episode 1 and 2 probably just one complete episode and have it be like an hour and 10 minutes long instead of 56 minutes, and I think the other one was 54. So anyways, moving into episode 2, well, before we move into episode 2, episode 1 ends with freaking Hopper getting on the convoy, going to the Upside Down, accidentally getting shot. Why? Because Demogorgon attacks the fucking convoy. Episode 2 moves into Mike and Nancy, their parents, because if you remember, Nancy saw a vision where her mom ends up dying, yada, yada, yada. Well, anyways, that vision partially comes true, shall we say? Because Nancy and Mike's younger sister, Holly, is seeing this guy called Mr. Whatsit. Mr. Whatsit is this imaginary figure that keeps talking to her, telling her about how there's all these dangers and blah, 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 blah. And like I said, they could have cut this episode down quite a bit instead of the dumb shit that of Holly. Of Mike and Nancy running around the hospital this entire time. They could have cut it down, had them change into the nurse's outfit and the patient's outfit, and had them go talk to their mom, who couldn't talk. Why? Because she got attacked by a Demogorgon, so she had to go and get taken care of. It just, like I said, just so much fluff. Could have condensed it down. And this is where they Mike and Nancy go into the hospital room and they're talking with the mom. And the mom reveals that Mr. Whatsit's real name is Henry. Who else's real name's Henry? Vecna. So that, in my opinion, is basically the meat and potatoes of the second episode, other than the fact that during the attack, 11 did run through one of the rips that the Demogorgons were making between the right side up and the upside down, and she's in the upside down now, where she ends up running into Hopper. Episode 3 is called The Turnbow Trap. So I know there was a lot of people that were complaining about how they are adding another character and who's this random kid that's standing side by side. He does a really, really good job, the actor that is, being an annoying, 8, 9-year-old. Derek Turnbow is his name. And this is where they find out that this Mr. Whatsit is visiting all these kids all around Hawkins. And his plan is to kidnap them. So, of course, they try to, really determine a plan to drug Derek Turnbow's family to get them away from the house, to save them from the Demogorgons, and then fight the Demogorgon and attach a tracker so that they can track the Demogorgon in the upside down. There's a lot to this episode that they could have cut down a lot of dialogue, like trying to convince Erica to go to the Turnbow's house because she's arguing with Turnbow's sister. Just a lot of fluff. Then Holly, who's been finally kidnapped in episode 2 by Vecna, gets a letter in the mail, and it's like, meet me over at the Rocks. So she meets her over at the Rocks, and this is one of the ones where I'm like, okay, this really isn't too much fluff, and that is, she finds Max. Where Max's body is stuck in a hospital in Hawkins. Where Max's consciousness is stuck, basically tied to Vecna's consciousness. And she's stuck in Vecna's mind, the way she was explaining it. It's just, I really can't wait to see how if they're even able to get Max back, and if Max is actually able to save Holly. Which moves into Chapter 4, The Sorcerer. Hopper and 11 infiltrate the military base. Of course they do that. And they thought that, they interrogate this special forces guy that they captured in the Upside Down, because there's a military base in the Upside Down, which is kind of glazed over in every episode. They're like, oh, military base in the Upside Down, blah, blah, blah. And it's like a minute here, a minute there. So they capture him, interrogate him, and then they find out that there's a door that is sealed that they don't know what's behind it. So, of course, Hopper and 11 devise this plan to break into this military base. A lot of that could have been cut down. I mean, I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to get some drama and some, oh God, what if they get caught? They're not going to get caught. They have main character plot armor, So they finally break in, infiltrate it, and they find out that what they're hiding on the base is actually one of 11's sisters that you meet from, what is it, season 2, I think? We had a couple episodes, and then you never fucking hear from them again. On top of that, Will, this entire time, is having these visions of what the kids are seeing and seeing what the Demogorgons are seeing. And that takes a massive part in, a couple minutes of every episode. And that being said, this one, Vecna shows up. He's got a new look. And Will basically is like, oh, shit. And Vecna kidnaps all the kids that they were trying to steal, and then Will ends up becoming like this wizard. And it's all because Vecna is like, children are weak of body and mind, blah, blah, blah. You were the first experiment. I learned a lot. And then next thing you know, fucking Will's over here, like, just like fucking killing shit. And he kills these demigorgons that are after Mike and Robin and who else? But Lucas. But at the end of the day, like, a lot of this is like, they should have just released all 8 episodes instead of breaking it up into 3 parts. There's a lot of filler. I mean, it's just one of those things. Do I think it was great? No. But I'm going to have to wait till Volume 2 and the finale just to watch it, because at the end of the day, I'm fully vested at this point. I wasn't going to cancel my Netflix, but there are people out there that do hold on to their Netflix, watch a show, cancel it for 6 months, get it back to watch a couple shows, and those people are stuck basically waiting until, 2 months. They have to pay 2 months worth of Netflix because Netflix is getting ridiculously expensive for no goddamn reason and not really adding much content to their platform, but charging more, which I think is just ridiculous. But in my opinion, Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1, bunch of fluff. I know I kept saying that. There's a lot of questions that hopefully are answered in part 2 and 3. We'll have to see. Anyways, you guys, don't forget to mash that like button, subscribe. Let me know if you watched the new season of Stranger Things. Personally, like I said, I don't think it's that good. Y'all take it easy. Have a great and wonderful day. And I'll see you later. Bye.